Hi everyone, please take note of the following disclaimer. Please note that this video is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. It does not constitute financial advice. We are not registered financial advisors. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your number one source for income-oriented investing where we do not ignore total returns. The war is heating up on the US stock market. So this video we're going to cover what I feel are really the top S&P 500, NASDAQ 100 covered call ETFs listed in America, listed in the USA. So this is very important for my American watchers, also for my Canadian watchers in case you invest in US listed funds in your RRSP or LIRA, where there is no 15% withholding tax. The battle is heating up, but it really looks like this is my personal opinion here, not financial advice what I'm about to say, but I really think there are, well, first of all, let me just start with this. As a core foundational position, if you're in America or in Canada, I think an S&P 500 covered call ETF or NASDAQ 100 covered call ETF is a really, really, really good idea. Some could say it's pretty much maybe all you need. So very, very powerful core foundational positions here. In the US, there's actually a lot more S&P NASDAQ 100 covered call ETFs than in Canada, but it really looks like three are front runners, what I personally feel are the best providers. We're talking about NEOS is number one, TappAlpha number two, Goldman Sachs number three. All of them have an S&P 500 covered call ETF, a NASDAQ 100 covered call ETFs, but Goldman Sachs does not have any leverage versions. So in this video, we're going to focus on NEOS, just like the thumbnail. By the way, give the video a thumbs up if you like the thumbnail. I used AI with it. Google AI is amazing, making these really cool thumbnails. I really like that thumbnail. So today, just like the thumbnail, we're really going to focus on NEOS versus TappAlpha because they're the only ones that have leverage versions of their base S&P and NASDAQ 100 covered call ETFs. But I have to give a shout out to Goldman Sachs because their total returns are actually incredible. We're going to do a deep dive. The point of this video is really to analyze, try to make you decide or give you a better picture of which one fits better in your portfolio, the NEOS leveraged one or the TappAlpha leveraged one, S&P and NASDAQ one. So you guys know that my personal favorite style of covered call ETF is the ones that have a little bit of leverage, right? They're very popular in Canada. The total returns speak for themselves, but basically if you do something with covered calls without leverage, long term, most likely you will underperform just holding that asset by itself, like the S&P 500. But if you add a little bit of leverage to it, properly managed, you could get similar performance to just holding that asset or more. So SPY is NEOS's basic S&P 500 covered call ETF. QQQI is their basic NASDAQ 100 covered call ETF, and they have leverage versions that have come out recently. So you have XSPI, which is the NEOS boosted S&P 500, and XQQI, the NEOS boosted NASDAQ 100, which are essentially leverage versions of their base ones, right? So XSPI is a leverage version of SPY, and XQQI is a leverage version of QQQI. So on the TappAlpha front, the basic S&P 500 is T-SPY, the basic NASDAQ 100 is TDAC, and the leveraged S&P is literally called the T-SPY Lift ETF. The symbol is TSYX, and it's TDAX for the NASDAQ one. So many of you are probably wondering, okay, well, which one is better? Which one do I put in my portfolio? So let's analyze the differences. We're going to look at total returns. I'm going to try to analyze, do a little deep dive into the differences between the NEOS and the TappAlpha, the differences in terms of leverage, distribution, and we're also going to look at total return. So when it comes to NEOS, the best way to explain what they do is a classic covered call strategy. So versus TappAlpha that have a zero DTE or daily covered call strategy. That is really the main difference between the two. You see that the management fee are the same at 68. Well, actually, TappAlpha is going to be more, I guess, at 77, whereas well, this is the management fee. I wonder what the MER is. Maybe I should have checked this before. Okay, no, it looks like the MER is 68. So NEOS has smaller fees in terms of their basic versions. The leverage versions, 98. the leverage versions are the same. So the basic versions, TappAlpha is a little bit more expensive in terms of MER, but the leverage versions have the exact same fee. So that's number one. We've got to look at the fee, right? In terms of the cover call strategy, NEOS is what I like to call classic strategy. They write mostly monthly options. And by the way, I've had NEOS and TappAlpha on the channel many times. You could check out the Q&As. It's a classic cover call strategy that NEOS does on SPY and QQQI. For their leverage version, which is what we're interested in this video, XSPI, how much leverage? How do they get the leverage? So in terms of how much leverage, we have it right here. It's designed to create approximately 150% of the notional portfolio exposure to SPY. So there you have it. It's about 50% leverage. Same thing for XQQ, whatever, XQQI. I'm probably going to be making mistakes with the stock symbols, but looks like NEOS is targeting 50% leverage, which is, I would still consider like pretty modest, but a bit higher than normal. In Canada, it's typically 25-33. So NEOS is doing 50%, a little bit higher, but keep in mind, I personally think they have a little bit more of a conservative classic cover call strategy, which means I don't mind that extra leverage. And they're getting that extra leverage, not with borrowed money or classic leverage like they do in Canada, but via options. So it's a very economical way to get leverage, if you will. Now, the T-SPY, or the TappAlpha, they don't have a classic cover call strategy. They do a zero DTE cover call strategy. So they're writing a call every day. It's slightly out of the money, so you're always capturing the upside every day, but basically the advantage is of a zero DT is you can make more income, a little bit more yield, you're writing more often. The disadvantage, where I think the real nightmare is, if there's a one-day huge 5, 6, 7% rally. So I'm filming this on the 31st of March. However, the market is up significantly, like 3%. But what I could see is T-SPY is behaving in a way, it's capturing all the upside today. So TappAlpha, I feel, is one of the best, if not the best, zero DTE cover call ETF providers. They're using AI and fintech to help with the cover call. So the SPY is typically always 12% yield, guys. The T-SPY, which is the basic S&P, is always about 14.5% yield. So TappAlpha does have a little bit more yield. That also goes for their leverage ones than NEOS, but they use a zero DT strategy instead of a classic one. And in terms of their leverage, it's 30%. So it's a bit less leverage. It's 30%, not 50%. And they're doing it with swaps. So they are getting the leverage with swaps, the leverage is being handled by Total Capital, which are leverage experts. I talk all about it with the CEO of TappAlpha, who's been on the channel many times, Sai. So you could check that out if you're interested. But basically, it's about 30% leverage versus 50. So that is essentially the differences and the commonalities between them. It's also very important to know that all the NEOS ones are monthly distributions, including the leverage ones. TappAlpha, the regular ones, the non-leverage ones, TDAC and T-SPY, are monthly, but the leverage ones are weekly. So that is one major difference. If you're looking for weekly income, that's definitely an advantage. If you're looking for higher yield, by the way, it's also an advantage, because the leverage version of SPY is always about 12. The leverage version is, they actually have a target range. So, and by the way, both TappAlpha and NEOS, very, very, very consistent distributions. The yield are very similar month to month. They could vary, of course, but the yields are very, very similar. So XSPI, you see that right here. Their target yield is between 15 and 18%. So you know what yield you're going to get. QQQI is always about 14. The leverage version, you could see here that the target is between 19 and 23. Makes sense because the NASDAQ's more volatile. It's going to be higher. So you know what yields you're going to get, guys, with NEOS pretty much. T-SPY, it's always 14.5. And you see the leverage one, it's much higher. It's at 21.98. So you see the yield difference here. And TDAX even higher at close to 25%. Keep in mind, it could change. It could fluctuate, but if you look at the latest, even weekly distributions on the leverage ones, they're very, very, very consistent. So you know what yields approximately you're gonna get. And a shout out to the Goldman Sachs one. GPIX is always, that's the S&P. It's always about 8%, very consistent yield. GPIQ always about 10%, also very consistent monthly distributions. And by the way, they're the ones that have the lowest fees. But now it's time to look at total returns, because this channel is also all about total returns. And this is, keep in mind, the leverage ones have not been out really long, but because both leverage, the NEOS ones and TappAlpha ones, are just leverage versions of their basic ones, of their base ones, we could do total returns of their base ones to really see the total returns. But it's actually really, really close, guys. So let's start with the S&P 500 here. You have SPY versus T-SPY. You see that it's super close, guys. This is since common inception. I also added GPIX, so you could see how GPIX is the highest performer in terms of total return. I added XDT and iSPY, just other ones for other S&P 500. Actually, they're both 0DTE S&P 500 cover call ETF. So you could clearly see that SPY, T-SPY, and GPIX in terms of total return are ahead of the pack. And congratulations to Goldman Sachs. But you see that compared to the S&P 500, a cover call ETF with no leverage, the total returns are really, really, really good. Almost there, right? Hopefully Goldman Sachs comes out with leverage versions. I think they would be awesome. But, because they're such a big snobby firm, maybe they won't do it. But we'll see what happens. So just to show you how the total returns, you can see the graphs, how they all follow each other. Remember, they're all investing in the S&P 500, so that's only normal. But that's the total returns for the NASDAQ ones. You have them here. Why don't I have the graphs? They're the graphs. So you see that there's a little bit less data because TDAQ came out later than T-SPY, so we have less data. But you see that I would say GPIC is still in first place. Actually, QDT is in first place with this limited time frame. And of course, it's normal that they're pretty much all beating the NASDAQ 100 because a cover call ETF during a bad time, which is what's happening now, flat to bad time, cover call is typically going to outperform. But you see that QDT, got to give a shout out to them. They don't have a leverage version, but their QDT is still very strong as a 0DT strategy. But you see TDAQ has a little edge over QQQI here. So if we just do, I just wanted to show you maybe TDAQ versus GPIC. So you see that TDAQ, GPIC is still the one with the highest total return. But what you'll see, TDAQ is the black line. You'll see that during a more up market, TDAQ is outperforming GPIC, but on the way down, it's less. So that just goes to show you something there. But if we do TDAQ versus QQQI, right, you see that again during a bull market or more high market, you see TDAQ, and I put the NEOS one in blues because NEOS logo is blue. So you see that right now, the TappAlpha one, when it comes to the NASDAQ, seems to have the edge over NEOS. So TDAQ does seem to have an edge over QQQI. But again, this is like 6-month time frame, guys. It's not a lot of time frame. But you see most likely on the way down, I think because NEOS does a little bit more cover calls, maybe they'll perform a little bit better if the downside continues. You see it's catching up. But as of the dates we have right now, TDAQ has the edge. If we do T-SPY versus SPY, the battle of the S&P 500, we kind of see the same trend where if the market is up, the TappAlpha one is better in terms of total return, slightly. But now we see that SPY took the edge. It's almost identical. So this proves my theory, like I said before. I think during a more flatter down market, maybe the NEOS ones are better, but maybe during an up market, which is the majority of the market, we need to remember, maybe TappAlpha has the better growth or total return. But again, guys, it's so freaking close here. What about the leverage version? So the leverage versions, TDAQ versus QQQ, I already did that one. So the leverage versions, they've only been out for a couple of months. We don't have a lot of data, but we could do it anyway. If we do the battle of the leveraged S&P 500 ones, again, NEOS in blue, it's not surprising because they've both come out, so this is not even a month, this is like 2 months of data. When an ETF comes out while the market is crappy, this is what you'll see, obviously a negative and a downward trend. But again, this again proves my point that the NEOS one is down less than the TappAlpha one. That only tells me one thing: they're doing a little bit more cover calls. They're doing more cover calls. That's really what it means. But something very interesting, the NASDAQ one, the TappAlpha one, is actually down a little bit less. It's super close, but the TappAlpha one is doing slightly better. So that's it for the total returns, guys. So which one should you choose for your portfolio? Look, I like both of them. Both the leverage ones have their own little twist on it. To summarize, with the NEOS ones, it seems to me like they have a little bit more leverage, but a little bit more covered calls. So it seems to me that maybe there's a little bit more of a cushion during a flatter down market like we're having now. But in terms of total return, in terms of upside, maybe they have a little bit less. But I don't know. I'm not confident in saying that because we don't have a lot of data. Plus, they have a little bit more leverage, right? So, what's cool about them, an advantage is what yield you're going to get, the target, but it's kind of the same thing for the TappAlpha. They're very consistent as well. A big difference is really that the leveraged TappAlpha ones have weekly distribution. So if you're just buying and hold these long term in your retirement account and you're just dripping, I think maybe a weekly compounding effect has a little bit of an advantage. I think it's just a consideration. Or if you prefer weekly income instead of monthly income, well, then obviously TappAlpha has a little bit of that advantage. The leverage versions are all, the expense ratios are the same. And the leverage is a little bit less with TappAlpha. It's in a different way. That's another difference. But all in all, guys, I have to say that it would be really hard for me to choose which one would be a core S&P NASDAQ 100. But remember, you could mix and match. And this channel is always, every month I have a series called the top cover call ETFs, or the best cover call ETFs. Sorry about that. I was about to choke there. Needed some water. Where I will be looking at total returns all the time. And I really focus on the Goldman Sachs, the NEOS, and the TappAlpha because I feel like they're the best ones in terms of total return, but also in terms of strategy, in terms of quality. So you can mix and match. Don't forget, personally, I would always go with the leverage version for a long-term buy and hold investor. And time will tell. Time will tell. Every month that goes by, we'll have more and more data as well. So it's going to be, it's really a battle. I'm very curious to see who's going to outperform. I think they're going to be very, very similar. So let me know what you guys think. Which ones do you feel, NEOS or TappAlpha, in terms of their leverage one specifically here? Which one do you feel has the advantage? Do you care about the weekly distribution, or you don't care about that? Would you rather have a little bit more covered calls, a little bit more leverage, maybe NEOS, or maybe a little bit less cover calls, but a little bit less leverage TappAlpha? So it's going to be very interesting how it shakes out, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 250,000 subscribers. I would really, really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel more, hit that little join button, become an Inner Circle member to have access to other content. So once again, thank you so much for your time, everyone. Stay safe, stay passive, stay healthy, and stay honorable. See you next time.